This week on Granite State Challenge, the Bulldogs of Bedford High School take on the Hawks of Hopkinton High School. Only one team will advance. Granite State Challenge starts now.
Major funding for the production of Granite State Challenge is provided by Unitil. Additional funding provided by Bangor Savings Bank, Safety Insurance, NEA New Hampshire, Aroma Joe's, and viewers like you. Thank you. Get ready. It's time for New Hampshire high schools to match wits in a high-stakes scholastic showdown. It's time for Granite State Challenge. Here's your host, John Cannon.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Granite State Challenge. We are making our way through the first round. In fact, we're at the end of it. We've got our 8th and final game of round 1 of Granite State Challenge. Two teams are here to do battle to see who's going to move on. Let's introduce them to you. First up, we have the team from Bedford High School.
Hi, I'm Matt and I'm a freshman.
Hi, I'm Alina and I'm a sophomore.
Hi, I'm Samaid and I'm a freshman.
Hello, I'm Tabitha and I am a sophomore.
The alternates are Tristan and Samantha, and the coaches are Kelly Chizovsky, the Destination Imagination Coordinator, and Sherry Arp, a parent volunteer. And that's the team from Bedford High School. Their opponents this week are the Hawks of Hopkinton High School.
Hi, I'm Flo. I'm a senior.
Hi, I'm Lucy. I'm a sophomore.
Hi, I'm Tad. I'm a junior.
Hi, I'm Michael. I'm a senior.
The alternate is Rebecca, and the team is coached by social studies teacher Liam Callahan, and that's the team from Hopkinton High School. All right, teams, great to get to know you, but we do have one more introduction. Of course, our beloved judge back with us again is Ann Belanger. All right, teams, introductions are out of the way. Go ahead and grab those signaling devices. We're going to play Granite State Challenge. We play in 4 rounds, and in round 1, we do 10-point toss-up questions. So, Bedford and Hopkinton, good luck. Let's play. You might be surprised to learn that with an area of 5,500,000 square miles, this is the largest desert in the world and is not known for its heat. Flo of Hopkinton.
Antarctica.
Antarctica's right. At 6,288 feet, this is the tallest mountain in New England. Lucy of Hopkinton.
Mount Washington.
That's right. Teams, in what year did New Hampshire celebrate the bicentennial of it becoming a state? Matthew of Bedford.
1976.
Sorry, no. Hopkinton. Lucy?
2015.
Sorry, no. It was 1988. This American labor leader co-founded the National Farm Workers Association and famously organized a boycott of California grapes. Matthew of Bedford.
Cesar Chavez.
Yes. Before he became governor of California and president of the United States, Ronald Reagan was president of the SAG labor union. What does SAG stand for? Matthew of Bedford.
Screen Actors Guild.
Yes. This actor is known for some of the most famous iconic dancing scenes in film, including Pulp Fiction, Grease, and Saturday Night Fever. Lucy of Hopkinton.
John Travolta.
Yes. This animated fantasy series tells the story of Aang and is set in a world where some individuals can manipulate one of the 4 elements: water, earth, fire, or air. Tad of Hopkinton.
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
That is right. If you are a vermiculturalist, what do you cultivate? Lucy of Hopkinton.
Worms.
Worms is right. Bessie Coleman was the first Black and first Native American woman to hold a license to do this. Matthew of Bedford.
5 points.
Yes. In 1988, at the World Championships in Budapest, Hungary, Canadian skater Kurt Browning became the first person to do this in a competition. Matthew of Bedford.
Backflip.
Sorry, no. Lucy of Hopkinton.
Triple axel.
Sorry, no. It is a quadruple toe loop jump. Good gracious. The start of this war was triggered by an explosion on the USS Maine in Havana Harbor in 1898. Sumed of Bedford?
The Spanish-American War.
Yes. All right, teams, our next question is our Unitil Power question, so this is worth double the points. 20-point toss-up coming to you on your monitors. Take a look.
This U.S. Secretary of State under Richard Nixon said that power is the ultimate aphrodisiac.
Matthew of Bedford.
Henry Kissinger.
Yes. Launched on December 25th, 2021, this space telescope orbits the sun at the second Lagrange point, or L2. A Lagrange point is where the gravitational forces of the sun and the Earth balance out. Flo of Hopkinton?
Hubbard telescope.
Sorry, no. Bedford, Matthew?
The Edwin telescope.
Sorry, it's the James Webb telescope. All right, teams. Actor Anthony Hopkins, who was only on screen for 16 minutes, won the Oscar for Best Actor for his portrayal of this cannibal in the movie Silence of the Lambs. Matthew of Bedford.
Hannibal Lecter.
Yes. There are 3 dogs with stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Strongheart, a silent film era German Shepherd, Rin Tin Tin, another German Shepherd, and this heroic collie. It was Lassie is who we were looking for. All right, teams, this singer-songwriter who performed with the Runaways and the Blackhearts is perhaps best known for the song I Love Rock and Roll. Matthew of Bedford.
Joanne Jett.
All right, we'll give you that. Teams, what is the first element on the periodic table? Lucy of Hopkinton.
Hydrogen.
Correct. Marie Curie is one of only a few people who has been awarded 2 Nobel Prizes. In which 2 fields of science were her Nobels? Matthew of Bedford.
Physics and chemistry.
That is right. This groundbreaking hip-hop group had a crossover hit in 1986 with their take on the Aerosmith song Walk This Way. Matthew of Bedford.
Run DMC.
Correct. This anti-apartheid activist became president of South Africa in 1994 after spending 27 years in prison. Tad of Hopkinton.
Nelson Mandela.
Yes. Scientists estimate that 48.5 tons of material from these hit the Earth every day. Michael of Hopkinton.
Asteroids.
Sorry, no. Bedford? Sumid?
Meteors.
Not meteors, it is meteorites. Theoretical physicist John Wheeler is known for popularizing this term to describe these parts of space where gravity is so strong that no light can escape. Tad of Hopkinton.
Black holes.
Yes. Our next question, teams, is a picture question, so go ahead and take a look at your monitors. This wild cat, native to South and Southeast Asia, is usually found near water because most of its diet is made up of fish. Sumid of Bedford?
Snow leopard.
Sorry, nope. Hopkinton? Michael?
Lynx.
No, it is known as the fishing cat. Self-contained underwater breathing apparatus is better known by this acronym. Lucy of Hopkinton.
Scuba.
Correct. Cowabunga. Well, we won't get to that question, but look at what we got here. We got a tight match. Bedford with a narrow lead by a score of 100 to 90 after round 1. Great jobs, teams, in round 1. We'll get to round 2 in a few minutes, but first we'd like to take a minute to get to know our players. And we're going to start with the team from Bedford High School. The Bedford Bulldogs, located in Bedford. It's a large school, almost 1,500 students are enrolled. And we're going to start down here with Tabitha, and not only a member of the Granite State Challenge team, but you are also the co-captain of what team at your school?
Color Guard.
Okay, so for the folks at home that may not know what Color Guard is, can you tell us what that's about?
Color Guard is basically dancing during halftime performances of football games with the marching band.
So the marching band comes out, they play songs, and
Yes.
you are flashing the flags, throwing them up in the air.
Yeah, and there's also like other things that we can use as well. But typically, most guards do use flags, and just like theirs, we also typically use flags.
All right, excellent. And as a role of a co-captain, that's sort of like being like a drum major.
And for our school, yeah.
Yeah, very good. Well,
Roughly.
keep it up. All right. Next, we have Sumid, and a traveler, maybe an amateur astronomer. Tell us about your visit to South Dakota.
So in August, I went to South Dakota, and there was a meteor shower happening there. So my family and I, we parked in a ditch to see the stars. But it was worth it because we ended up seeing the meteors and the northern lights.
Oh, and the Northern Lights. Fantastic. And everybody got to see some meteors?
Everyone except my mom, unfortunately.
Oh, well, you know what? I'm not very good at spotting them either. But that's okay. Good on you. Next up is Alina Also a traveler, but a world traveler. How many countries you've been to?
12 if you count the United States.
Okay, I count the United States. So are these trips that you just go on sort of vacation with your family?
Yeah, they've all been with my family.
Okay, do you have a favorite or two that you recall?
Usually I say the Czech Republic, but I also really loved Aruba.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's, you get a little culture and you get a little sun.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got you. All right, and rounding out the team is team captain Matthew. And tell us how this Granite State Challenge team came to be.
Well, Bedford High School did have a Granite State Challenge team before, but it took a bit of a break. And when I came to the school from the middle school, I had already done some quiz competitions, and I wanted to bring it to the high school. And so I worked with my principal and our coaches to start a Granite State Challenge team.
To bring this team together, and you're a young team, all 9th and 10th graders on this team. So you've got a bright future, and glad to see Bedford High School back on the Granite State Challenge stage. All right, their opponents this week is the team from Hopkinton High School, located in Hopkinton, a bit of a smaller school, but still a sizable enrollment for such a small town. We're going to come down. We'll start with Michael down here on the end. Granite State Challenge, not the only team that you're a part of. What team were you a part of in the fall this year?
I was part of the boys soccer team.
And how'd the boys soccer team do?
We won the Division III state championship.
Congratulations, and team captain on that championship soccer team. And does Hopkinton have a tradition of championship soccer teams?
Yes, we usually do, but we've kind of had a break. We have a total of 9 championships.
Okay.
But we haven't won since 2016.
So it's been a long time coming back to be on top. All right, excellent. All right, Michael is joined by Tad, who is an activist of sorts. Tell us what you are involved in.
Yeah, so this past summer and throughout this year, I've been working with 350 New Hampshire, which is a climate activist organization here in New Hampshire.
Okay, so 350 New Hampshire is the organization doing climate activism. What sorts of things are they working on, or are you working on right now with them?
This year, the youth team is working on a public health campaign, so kind of spreading education on how the climate change affects people's public health.
Excellent. Well, keep up the good work. All right, next up is Lucy. Lucy has a collection, kind of a unique collection. I think it's pretty cool. What do you collect?
Salt and pepper shakers.
Okay, so how did you start collecting salt and pepper shakers?
I saw some at a flea market, and the collection has grown to more than 40 pairs.
Okay, so we looking for antiques? We looking for silly ones? What are we looking for?
All sorts.
Okay, and you'll accept them as gifts?
Of course.
All right. So if you want to send Lucy some salt and pepper shakers, she'll add to that collection. All right, and rounding out the team captain Flo, a big reader. Okay, it says here you've kept a list of every book you've read since
4th grade.
Since 4th grade. Okay, so how many books are we talking are on this list?
Like over 800.
So that's 800. That's a lot of books. Do you do anything with this list? Is this for your own edification? What do you do with it?
Yeah, and I like to recommend books to other people and
All
stuff that I've read.
And do people take your recommendations?
I hope so.
Okay, well, they
Sometimes.
ought to, I think, and that's what puts you on Granite State Challenge. Ladies and gentlemen, the team from Hopkinton High School. All right, teams, thanks for that break in the action, but we're going to pick it up where we left off going into round 2. So round 2 is our 3 strikes and you're out round. And the way this works is each team gets 10 questions, and we go down the line player by player. Each team has 3 passes, so if you don't know the answer, you can pass to the person next to you. And we keep going until all 10 questions are asked or until 3 strikes and you are out. And just as a reminder, something in the previous question will be the inspiration for the next question. So, Bedford, we do this alphabetically. So, Matthew, we will start with you. This is your question. What does the acronym ASAP stand for?
As soon as possible.
Correct. Alina, the animated series Kim Possible is about high school student Kim who fights crime in her spare time. Her friend and partner Ron has a pet naked mole rat that is voiced by Nancy Cartwright, who also voices this son of Marge and Homer.
Bart.
Yes, Bart Simpson. Sumid, The Simpsons is set in Springfield, which, according to the show's creator, is located in his home state, which is this state located between Washington and California.
Oregon?
Yes. Tabitha, in the game Oregon Trail, settlers leave from Oregon from Independence City, located in this state?
Pass.
Pass to Matthew.
Missouri.
Missouri is right. Alina, to you. The Missouri Compromise of 1820 admitted Missouri to the U.S. as a slave state and this state as a free state.
Pass.
Pass to Sumit.
Maine.
Maine is correct. Tabitha, to you. The rallying cry, "Remember the Maine," followed the explosion of the USS Maine in Havana Harbor in Cuba and helped launch this war.
Spanish-American War.
That's correct. Matthew, the Spanish-American War resulted in the U.S. acquiring this Pacific island, which is now the westernmost territory in the United States.
Guam.
Yes. Alina, Guam is near this ocean trench, which is the deepest ocean trench on Earth.
The Mariana Trench.
Yes. Sumid, Maid Marian hangs around with this outlaw leader of a group of merry men. Too late on that. It was Robin Hood. And Tabitha, question 10, Dick Grayson becomes Robin and this millionaire becomes Batman when they suit up to fight crime.
Pass.
Was that a pass? To you, Matthew.
Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne is correct. And how many? 9 out of 10 on your 3 strikes rounds. All right, great job, Bedford, Hopkinton. We'll see how you do. Same drill. We'll start with you, Flo. This is your question. Actor Selena Gomez, who now stars in Only Murders in the Building, got her start in a children's series featuring this purple dinosaur.
The Wizards of Waverly Place.
No, it was Barney. Lucy, Barney Rubble is the best friend of this man, whose catchphrase is yabba dabba doo.
Fred Flintstone.
Correct. Tad, Flint, Michigan's water supply was seriously contaminated by lead when the city switched its water supply from this second largest Great Lake by surface area to the Flint River.
I don't know.
Lake Huron. Michael, actress Veronica Lake starred in the 1942 film I Married a Witch, where she vows to get revenge on descendants of the man who had her and her father burned at the stake in this town famous for its witch trials.
Salem.
Yes. Flo, this Hampton resident was the only person in New Hampshire tried for witchcraft.
I don't know.
It is Eunice Goody Cole. Lucy, Old King Cole. Oh, is that 3? That's 3 strikes, and that's the end of your 3 strikes rounds. All right, so after 2 rounds, looks like Bedford extending its lead by just a little bit. So we're going to roll into round 3, which is our 60-second round. So alternates, I'd like to invite you to come on up and meet with your teams as we get into our 60-second round. In this round, each team gets 10 questions in a category. You guys can work together and talk as a team. And we'll start with the team trailing right now, and that is Hopkinton. So, Flo, you can talk to your team and choose from these 3 categories. Yes, sir, put a lid on it, and fiddle me this. We have yes, sir, put a lid on it, and fiddle me this.
Oh, they put a lid on it?
Put a lid on it. All right. So the answers to all of the following will be related to hats. Okay, Flo? So I will take your answer as the team answer. 60 seconds, start the clock. This character in Wonderland was a bit insane.
Mad Hatter.
Yes. When a single player scores 3 goals in hockey.
Hat trick.
Yes. What a candidate can be said to do when they enter a race.
Throw their hat in the ring.
That is right. The secondhand purchase worn by a character in a Prince song.
Pass.
Or raspberry beret, the type of figurative or maybe literal headpiece worn by a conspiracy theorist.
Tinfoil hat.
Tinfoil hat.
Yes, this politician is identified with red baseball caps.
Donald Trump.
Yes, a construction worker might wear one of these to protect
Hard
the head.
hat.
Yes, this silent movie era actor was known for wearing a bowler hat and carrying
Charlie
a cane.
Chaplin.
Yes, he wore a dusty fedora while he was looking for the Ark.
Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones.
Yes, this presidential spouse was famous for wearing pillbox hats.
Roosevelt.
Eleanor
It
Roosevelt.
was Jackie Kennedy. And at the end of your 60-second round, 8 out of 10. Nice job catching up, Hopkinton. But now, Bedford, it is your turn. And Matthew, you can choose from, you and your team can choose from Yes, Sir and Fiddle Me This.
All right. Fiddle me this.
Fiddle Me This. Okay. The answers to the following will all be related to violins or fiddles. So again, Matthew, I'll take your answer as the team answer. 60 seconds, start the clock. This Broadway musical is based on the short story Tevye the Dairyman.
Fiddler on the Roof.
Yes, this founding father played the violin.
Benjamin Franklin.
It was Thomas Jefferson. This violinist contracted polio when he was 4.
Who?
Bach.
It was Itzhak Perlman. This violinist and Baroque composer wrote The Four Seasons.
Vivaldi.
Yes. These violins were crafted in Italy in the 17th and 18th centuries.
Stradivarius.
Yes. The song by Charlie Daniels features dueling fiddles, one played by Satan.
Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Correct. How many strings does a fiddle have?
4.
Correct. What is the difference between a fiddle and a violin?
A fiddle is used in folk music.
Think about that, Judge. The song Baba O'Reilly by this British rock band features a violin solo.
The Rolling Stones.
It is The Who, and this character in Gone with the Wind famously says, fiddle-dee-dee. We didn't quite get to that last question, so we'll let the judges think for just a second. And on the ANCAM, 5 out of 10 on your 60-second rounds. Thank you, alternates. You can go ahead and take your seats as we get prepared for round 4. Some tightening up here on the scoreboard, but that's okay. That's just how we like it. In round 4, teams, we're going to pick back up with the toss-up questions, but we're going to be doubling the point value to 20 points, and we will be deducting 20 points for incorrect responses. So, playing smart and strategically, Bedford and Hopkinton, good luck. Let's go. This palace complex in Beijing, China, was built in the 15th century and is known by this name. Matthew of Bedford.
The Forbidden City.
Correct. Which amendment to the U.S. Constitution states excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted? Michael of Hopkinton.
The 8th.
That is right. On the morning of May 3rd, 2003, New Hampshire residents woke up to find that this rock formation in the Franconia Notch was no longer there. Lucy of Hopkinton.
Old Man on the Mountain.
Yes. All right, teams, pencil and paper if you need it. If the title of this book was written in Roman numerals, it would be MCMLXXXIV. Lucy of Hopkinton.
1984.
Correct. All right, teams, our next question is a video question coming to you on your monitors. Take a look.
Hi, I'm Jade Adams, the 2025 New Hampshire's Kid Governor. Kids can do amazing things. This composer was only 8 years old when he wrote his first symphony. Symphony number 1 in E flat. He would go on to write 40 more.
Alina of Bedford.
Mozart.
Mozart's right. This actor played disco dancing Tony Manero in the 1975 movie Saturday Night Fever. Matthew of Bedford.
John Travolta.
Correct. This 2001 animated movie featuring the voices of Mike Myers and Eddie Murphy was based on a 1990 book written and illustrated by William Steig. Matthew of Bedford.
Shrek.
Correct. Teams, if 2 candidates are tied in the Electoral College and all of the votes are shared between only those 2 candidates, how many votes would each candidate have? Matthew of Bedford?
269.
That is correct. In what novel by Aldous Huxley do citizens take a drug called Soma, which is described as an opiate of the masses? Tad of Hopkinton.
Brave New World.
Yes. All right, teams, take a look at your monitors again for this question. This sculpture of a Concord, New Hampshire Minuteman was created by this Exeter, New Hampshire native, who also created the seated statue of Abraham Lincoln found at the Lincoln Memorial. Michael of Hopkinton.
Daniel Chester French.
Yes. In this 1967 novel, Colombian author Gabriel Garcia Marquez tells the story of several generations of the Buendia family. Lucy of Hopkinton.
No answer.
Sorry, Bedford? Alina?
100 Years of Solitude.
That is correct. Skip the next question, folks. And the next one. In this fable by Aesop, a shepherd boy keeps sending out false alarms about attacks on his sheep. Lucy of Hopkinton.
Boy Who Cried Wolf.
Yes. This 51-mile waterway connects the Caribbean Sea to the Pacific Ocean. Sorry, Matthew, not quite in time, and that's the buzzer that ends the game. A great match, but it looks like Bedford will be moving on by a score of 360 to 290. Whew. Great game, Bedford. We'll see you in a few weeks when you join your second round game. And Hopkinton, you know we always love it when we have you here. And we hope you had fun here. Tough loss, but walk away with your hands held high. All right, and at home, we hope you had a good time this week on Granite State Challenge. We do hope you join us next week for our first second round game that pits the schools of Trinity High School and Plymouth Regional High School. That'll do it for us this week on Granite State Challenge. And if you learned something, I hope you did, because I did as well. We'll see you next week.
Major funding for the production of Granite State Challenge is provided by Unitil. Additional funding provided by Bangor Savings Bank, Safety Insurance, NEA New Hampshire, Aroma Joe's, and viewers like you. Thank you.